Welcome on in, my Ashwings, to another installment of the A to Z Commoner series in the High Seas meta. Today, we are looking at our next hero that starts with the letter A, being Aurora in the Commoner series. Now, Aurora notably gets a pretty awesome buff in this format because Ball Lightning was unbanned recently in the Commoner format. And so with Ball Lightning being unbanned, a lot more of the power that this deck can provide really does shine through these cards. Now, Ball Lightning is nowhere near as powerful as it was, I believe, just strictly because the aggro has gotten a lot higher. And because of that, having zero block in there is kind of feels bad. But notably, Ball Lightning still being very, very good. To be able to still have a lightning card with Go Again, turns on the rest of your entire suite. And notably, Ball Lightning paired with a Mark of Lightning is very good because that allows for a lot of these additional power from the Ball Lightnings to get their effects, pretty much. So with that being said, let's take a look at Aurora and see exactly what she does. So Aurora has a once per turn instant ability to pay 2 resources and create an embodiment of lightning token. And then you can activate this only if you've played a lightning card this turn. Embodiment of Lightning is a token that appears in the field that says when you play an attack action card, you destroy this and the attack then gets Go Again. This is really effective because pretty much you can make it so where cards that would normally need something to Go Again, like Flittering Charge or Entwined Lightning, some cards that don't even have Go Again, like Arcanic Shockwave, those are all cards that don't have Go Again, but if you make an Embodiment of Lightning, you get to give them Go Again, which means you start your turn with a closer, effectively, with a chain-ending card. You get to start with it instead, which threatens a lot more of that initial damage. Moving into the equipment here, Flash of Brilliance, we have Blossom of Spring, Mark of Lightning, and Snapdragon Scalers, and then the weapon being Starfall. Pretty basic stuff for the overall list here. And then it's pretty much just being able to defend. You can usually pop back an aura like Sigil of Lightning, or it just blocks one. So that's also totally fine. Blossom of Spring is here to pay for a resource in case you need one. Starfall, obviously a better weapon for her. Snapdragon Scalers to again give things Go Again when they don't normally. Moving into the main deck, we have Arcanic Shockwaves in red, a suite of all the Ball Lightnings, again, because we want to kind of threaten a lot more of this. If something hits, it deals an additional point of damage on the end there. Crackling, which is a nice chain ender here. If you played a lightning card, it gets +1, so it comes in for 4. Electrify, this is a great arsenal card, so put this card in arsenal when you have the opportunity. This allows you to make it so the next attack action card that hits this turn it deals an additional +3 damage to them. And if it was played from arsenal, you draw a card. So essentially gets you the card that you would have pitched for this back. Electrostatic Discharge. This is a great instant to just kind of pump up your attacks. Entwine Lightning, Go Again. Flittering Charge, Go Again, but only if you've played an instant on the chain link. Fry, Go Again. Heaven's Claw, blocks 3, comes in for 5. Can be pumped up to a little bit more. Lightning Surge, another great arsenal target. Put this card in arsenal, then you play it, it gets Go Again. Photon Rush, Go Again if you played a lightning card. Ravenous Rabble, you're always going to be hitting for 4 because there's a lot of reds in the deck. Scar for a Scar, your deck blocks pretty poorly, so there's an opportunity for you to be on the back foot there. Second Strike, if you've hit at all, this gets an additional +1 damage, so even if you have dealt damage with something like a Mark of Lightning, you still get to get the 0 for 4 with Go Again on this card as well. Sizzle is a great way to start and have those 0 for 4s come in for 7. So 7's a much harder breakpoint for people in the commoner format, and notably, this just kind of allows you to turn on a lot of your abilities here. Spark Spray. This is kind of an interesting tech. I'm not sure if I'm going to be in love with this card. When it is defended by 1 or more cards, you may pay a resource, and if you do, this gets +1. So if this gets blocked by a D-React, you can easily go ahead and pay 1 resource from your hand to bump it up to 5, and that might be able to push 1 point of damage over, which could threaten Ball Lightning damage if you happen to have it, or even Electrify in that situation. Wounded Blow, or Wounding Blow, is just a 0 for 4 block 3. This is going to be your chain ender, or if you have an embodiment of lightning, you can start with this as well. It's not terrible either. Sigil of Lightning doesn't block. It's an instant aura. You can play this, and at the beginning of your turn, it gets destroyed, and you create an embodiment of lightning token. So if you are on turn 1, so if your opponent goes first and you go second, and you have a Sigil of Lightning in hand, make sure to play this before the end of your opponent's turn. That way, you get to go ahead and make sure you have a embodiment of lightning to start your turn, and you get to replace this card with a different card upon draw. Moving into the inventory here, we have Arcane Polarity for the Wizard matchups and the Runeblade matchups. It's just a great way to gain life, and you don't have to pitch for anything. Sink Below, this is in case you need to block for any reason. If an opponent has really powerful on hits, or maybe you're going against, it's really just for on hits. Your hand doesn't really need a whole lot of fixing, so just making sure you're able to block out efficiently in those situations is good. Blade Beckoner Boots and Blade Beckoner Plating to replace the chest piece and the legs. In case you need to be a little bit more, your equipment suite needs to be a little bit more defensive. Again, this is more into heroes that attack with attack actions and with their weapons, so somebody like Ira. And then a Spellfray Tiara. This is just in case you are going against the wizards, or theoretically you can run it into the Runeblades as well, in which it's just Spell Void 1. It replaces the Flash of Brilliance. Normally, the only reason you'd run this is if you know your opponent is not on attack actions. So somebody like Kano is probably the better bet there. Every other wizard tends to be on attack actions, or so this is still a fine block in that regard too. So that's pretty much the deck here. We're going to go ahead and hop into a Talishar queue. We're going to see whether or not we are able to get some W's here on Aurora in the commoner format. All right, looks like we go ahead and get to go against Chain here. I think I'm going to go first so I can set up some embodiments maybe. I don't think we need to care. This is pretty much just a race here. We are going to bring in the Arcane Polarities. We're probably going to take out... Let's take out... I think we're going to take out this instead. We'll submit that and go from there. All right, so Sigil of Lightning turn 1, kind of cool. What we can go ahead and do here is we can play a Entwine Lightning. I think it might be better to do Heaven's Claw, pitch this, play the 5, have them block out. All right, block 6 is good. 1 card for 2 cards. I will choose to not have Mark of Lightning deal a damage. I will then go ahead and have Aurora create a embodiment token here. And then I will put a card in Arsenal. So now we're pretty much set up with exactly what we want here. We got the Arcane Polarity, which is pretty cool. So we're going to get Soul Shackle to come in. I think it's going to be... I mean, I definitely think Chain has a better output of damage. I know initially it's kind of set up a turn and wait, but we'll see. I mean, if they have Shrill of Skull forms and ways to make rune chants and things like that, we're in a pretty okay spot, but notably I have what I need here. So this is 5. I might say, I mean, no block to the 5-cent Reaping Blade, take 8. My hand is kind of okay. I have this, and then I have... Well, I have this, and then I have this, fusing this. Now I should do this first. Yeah. I think we'll just say no blocks here. They're not going to vest. There's no reason for them to vest here. Rune Rager Swarm for 3. Okay, so we'll see whether or not we just win the race on this one. Because again, we don't really block very well, so we want to make sure that we're preventing them from doing any kind of life gain here. Okay, so we are going to send a Crackling. I will do an electrostatic discharge. Play an Entwine Lightning, fuse it with a Spark Spray. 7 go again. So this will bring him down to 9 if they say no blocks here. Okay, they say no blocks. The real thing is that I almost want to keep the Arcane Polarity. So I might want to swing this. Okay, they're giving me the Blade Beckoner. Now I want to pay 1 to buff. Okay, that's fine. Add this to Arsenal. All right, hand does not block very well. So again, we kind of have to hope that we win here. They didn't get anything off the top, so they get to play a Bounding Demagon for 3. Let's see. We have a Sizzle. We have Arcane Polarity. We have a Crackling. So we can Sizzle, Ball Lightning, Crackling, go again, Lightning Surge. Let's just take as much as we can here before we have to start blocking. Notably, we probably could have just waited. But, I mean, they're going to have 2 floating now. So, Arcane Cussing. Okay, so this is for 6. They can give it go again, notably. So, what do we want to give up here? I could also just gain a life, right? Take 6, gain 1 life. But they have the Arcane Cussing, so I'm assuming they're going to try and break that. Because if it blocks... Let's actually block with the... I think we're going to block with the Surge. This here. I'm not going to choose a card. So I'll block 3, take 3. They're going to get the Cussing. Okay. Because they didn't do the thing. And give it go again. Okay. So we're going to definitely have to block with another card here, but we'll see. And then they're going to send what? Are they sending Reaping Blade? Keeping an Arsenal? Okay. And then we get to keep this. Yeah. Okay. So this turn, we are going to Blossom of Spring. We are going to Sizzle, Ball Lightning, and we're going to have to make them block. We're going to have to make them block pretty good here, I gotta say. Block 6 is good. I will not go ahead and destroy Mark of Lightning here. I will then use my 1 flow to attack with the Starfall for 2. Then I will attack with the Crackling for 4. If they don't block, we win. And notably, we still get to deal 2 here. So we have 2 damage floating on this Mark of Lightning. Yeah, I don't think we're going to have a better option. So we are going to activate the Mark of Lightning here. Pop 2 damage. Okay, let's see what they get. They get 2 misses. Awesome. I get to play a Scar for a Scar. So we're going to hope we're going to be able to just keep ripping cards from our opponent's hand. And with their soul shackles, they're just going to keep milling their own stuff. I am then going to play a Sizzle. And then I'm going to play a Flittering Charge for 7. I'll try to put Electrify in the arsenal here. They have to give me that other card. Sweet. Oh, block 6. Then I am going to try and rip that other card from their hand. Yeah, we're just going to give it a go again. Whoops. There it is. Rip that card from their hand. We don't want them to have it. So we'll pass. See what we get. 2 cards off the top. Don't matter. We are then going to go ahead and we are going to... This is a lightning card, right? So we can... Ravenous Rabble for 4. Nice. I think we get a win here. Did he give us the good game? Good game. Ball lightning. Oh, they have cards that don't block in their hand? Ah, I see. Yep. Good game. Good games. That was pretty good. I would say that ended up working out pretty good. We did have to take quite a threat here. The Arcane Polarity came in clutch. I think we really did a good job in kind of holding that back. So I would say that went pretty well. I mean, into a chain, I think the only benefit out of this whole thing is that they didn't hit, right? If they had an attack to send off their Soul Shackle, this would have been different. Notably, though, it looks like the only targets they have for their Soul Shackles are Bounding Demagon and Piercing Shadow Vise. They're not on Seeds of Agony or anything of the sort there. So this might have just been a really weird testing build, but oh well. We'll move on to the next one. We'll see exactly how that one plays out. All right. Looks like our opponent is Kasai. I think we actually want to go second in this matchup here. Now, notably, they do have some on-hits, so I think this might be a very interesting game. So I think we're going to probably end up taking out a... I don't know. Let's see here. Odds are we're on the back foot. We probably want to take out the Sigil of Lightning and put in the Sink Belows. Just because in case we need to be a bit defensive, we can make sure to do that. Also notably, it's a non-attack, or it's a defense reaction, so it's not going to be as crazy. 2 block here. Notably, that thing will get bumped up to 3. So I think this might be a world in which we just block. Well, we have to block with an attack action, so it's going to get go again anyway. So we might just block with this Spark Spray here. Give it go again, because that's fine. We're playing a hit and run for 5 go again. I think we'll just block 5 here. That's fine. They're not going to be able to attack with anything. Okay. They got us down 1 life, which is fine. There's a Think Below. So it's kind of a feels bad in the situation, I think. But we might actually just send in the Heaven's Claw here for it, too. So we might just Blossom of Spring. We're going to play the Sizzle. We're going to play a Ball Lightning. And we're going to keep this Sink Below in Arsenal. Okay, there's a Sink Below for them. Kind of crazy. We'll send a Heaven's Claw for 5. They're giving us 5. Interesting. I will say no to the Mark of the Lightning. Did not expect them to give us that many cards, but I will put this in my arsenal and pass. Now, this hand's kind of okay. Notably, we could say no blocks here, right? They're getting rid of, they don't have a Blade Runner. So we just say no blocks. We take 2. Pass. That's fine. Oh, sorry. Refraction Bolters. I mean, that's okay. We're going to send a lot more at them. So that's fine. Let's go ahead and send a Ravenous Rebel for definitely 4. And notably, we can hit with this. If we do hit, we can send the second strike. Springboard Somersault. Very interesting. Okay. Sure. Then let's send the Flittering Charge at them. It might even be a turn in which we try to give them go again. If they block 3 here, that's crazy for us. Okay. I will give the snaps. Okay, that's fine. I will not have Mark of Lightning deal a damage. So very defensive for it being a deck such as this, but I don't know. I'm very curious to see. I think we're then just going to go ahead and pitch this second strike in here. Send 2. They're going to take 2 gladly. And then I'm going to send 4. So it is very interesting because if they're going to start with a hot streak, we very well can just say no blocks. This is another pretty good hand, actually. Fortunately, no way to do anything else here. For 5, I'll say no blocks here. I will sink. I think I'm going to sink the... I think I'm going to sink the Shockwave. Yeah, no, you know what? I'll sink the Surge. It's fine. That's actually pretty good. So we can... Well, I mean, it's good, but it's really not good because we want to sizzle. We're going to send a Ravenous Rabble for definitely, okay, for 3. That kind of feels bad a little bit, but they do have the agility token, so they're at least going to get the agility off of this here. They block 3. We're then going to go ahead and send an Arcanic Shockwave for 7. Fuse it. And then I might just make an embodiment token, or I can arsenal this card because it's a great lightning starter, which is not terrible either. Because notably, we don't have anything to keep in the arsenal here for this. So, and especially since they're not going to have armor or anything here. But they do have the agility token, so they're going to be threatening at least what? Probably 7 damage. So depending on what we get, we can threaten a little bit more. I will choose to not destroy Mark of Lightning. And I think what I will do is I will just put this Ball Lightning in my arsenal and try to close out the game. Okay, so not the best. But notably, we can still block okay here. We pitch. weapons are going to get +1 on this turn. They've got copper, although notably that doesn't really matter. They're sending 3 with go again. What do they pit? They made a vigor? Oh, Goblet of Blood and Wine. Okay, I'll take 6. Sure. No reason for me not to. Okay, so this turn we can go ahead and we can ball lightning, second strike, this, electrify, shock, fuse this for this, and then put electrify in arsenal. I think that's probably our best bet. So let's do that. Ball lightning for 1. They're gonna have to block with a whole card or take 2 damage, which is feels good in the situation here. Okay. How about we block with it? We send another ball lightning at you for 2. No. We then send the second strike because you've been dealt damage, so this is going to get 4 go again. It's going to threaten even more cards from your hand. You take that. Cool. We'll then go ahead and say nothing here. I'll then go ahead and send the Arcanic Shockwave using this. Sending for 4. It'll be 2 arcane. I think it's actually, I don't remember if this is how this works. Yeah, it's 3 arcane. I do break lightning here. Yes. And then it deals the 1 point of damage and I kill them with ball lightning. That's insane. God. Good game. That was a lot. That was, yeah. So this is deal 1 arcane damage to target hero. Arcanic Shockwave is the thing dealing the arcane damage. So it is buffed by the ball lightning. So if this would deal damage, it would deal that much. So we got the 1 point from the arcane. We got the 1 point leaking through from here. And then, of course, we got the 1 point leaking through from the Mark of the Lightning. So that was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 damage off of 1 card effectively. Huge value. And then, of course, we got to put an Electrifying Arsenal if they happen to live. That was pretty good. So let's talk a little bit about the deck and how it may turn out to have worked. Let's do a little recap. All right, so taking a quick look here when we had just finished both of our games, I gotta say that the chain game very well could have gone differently in in Chain's favor, because if they were able to get some cards off the top to be able to send with go again and have a card in hand, that would have been enough. But they didn't really have the capability of going very wide. And notably, they were losing cards off the top of their deck, and it was not anything that hit. So unfortunately, they were left in a situation where they weren't getting any hits. I was able to just continue to pressure a bunch of these 4s. Tons of damage, worked out great. But then we move into the Kasai game, which notably is it's hit or miss, right? I mean, my deck does not block very well. And also being able to get go again on your attacks. A lot of the good warrior cards, Blade Runner, Hit and Run, Iron Song Response, Sharpened Steel, all of these cards, very, very powerful in the commoner format. But we were able to strip cards from our opponent's hand pretty easily, and also be able to threaten a lot of these ball lightnings. Again, we made decisions where being able to either pitch the ball lightning for an embodiment or keep the ball lightning, because you really want to stack these, and that's kind of what we were hoping for. We were then, of course, able to take a comfortable 6 damage from our opponent and then send ball lightning, a bunch of breakpoints, and those breakpoints ended up doing exactly what we expected them to do, which is win that game. Sink Below also kind of came in clutch in that last one, because 5 damage is a lot, but Sink Below allowed us to only take 1, and we got to filter a card from our hand to get that ball lightning. So we were even closer to what we wanted to accomplish in that situation. But overall, pretty great deck, I gotta say. For an aggro deck, Ball Lightning, I mean, it's a very contentious card. It got unbanned in the format. and it's still banned in Project Blue, but it's not banned in Commoner anymore. So I am curious whether or not this is going to be probably a more premier aggro deck moving forward, just because this card just allows you to stack so much additional damage. And especially with Mark of Lightning being a card, I think it is just night and day compared to where Lightning Heroes were previously with the cards that they had in the deck. You know, still being able to threaten all this damage is great, but when you're able to add in additional damage that you pretty much need an Oasis Respite for, and you can't even block out all of that, Ball Lightning really gets a lot of that good value in. So let me know what you thought about the Aurora deck and Commoner in the High Seas format in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you. Also, if you enjoyed today's video, make sure to go ahead and give it a like. Subscribe to the channel as well if you have not already. We are moving on up to 2,700 subscribers, so thank you all so much for all the support that you give me. You can also become a channel member. There's a channel member join link in the description there. We do also have a community Discord as well in the description if you wish to go about joining that too, just to chat a lot more with me and our community and, you know, trying to do the whole YouTube thing. So thank you all again. I really do appreciate everything that you do, and I hope you continue to have fun in the flesh and blood. And I will see all of you beautiful Ashwings in our next installment of A to Z, the Commoner series.